Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and I really want to thank and welcome the governors. Appreciate you being here. It's an honor to have this conversation with you. I was very encouraged in June of this year when the Western Governors Drought Forum issued a special report on a comprehensive West-wide drought response. And I noted that the phrase Endangered Species Act did not appear once in the report. In fact, there is no call at all to repeal or undermine federal or state environmental laws in order to address the drought. What the report did call for are things like better data monitoring on stream flow and snowpack, increased investments in water reuse, recycling, improved forest health and soil stewardship, incentives for water conservation and efficiency, and new ways to fund the maintenance of existing water infrastructure in the West. The report talks about the crucial role of programs like Reclamation's WaterSmart and the EPA's State Revolving Fund in water infrastructure. And this comprehensive approach that you took in that report tracks almost element by element a comprehensive water and drought response bill that I've introduced in the House with over 30 co-sponsors. It's a bill that has yet to have a hearing or a vote, but we continue to think it's a good bill that deserves the attention of this body, and I'm glad to hear that you have concurred in many of the elements in that bill. Again, nowhere in your report is there a call for an assault on environmental and public health protections. Unfortunately, here in the House, despite the affection for the 10th Amendment that you heard earlier in this hearing, we continue to move legislation that overrides state water rights and state water law, that ignores the common sense consensus in your report in other legislation as to what to do about the drought, and instead attempts to use it as a justification to overturn state law and undermine both environmental and public health protections. And too often, I think the majority here sometimes forgets its own rhetoric about states' rights when it comes to picking on state laws they just don't agree with. We've seen that on multiple occasions. There's also a little disconnect on the Endangered Species Act. My friend from Wyoming, Ms. Lummis, said she doesn't know anyone who wants to repeal the ESA. With respect to my friend, she actually does. The lead author of the House water bill that I'm talking about gave a local TV interview just a couple months ago where he said, quote, that the goal was, quote, hopefully someday repeal the Endangered Species Act. So back to the issue of state law. When the House was considering this bill in one of its earlier incarnations in 2012, which tries to micromanage California's water system, the states of Wyoming and Montana sent letters of opposition. And a young Attorney General named Steve Bullock said that the bill would preempt California water law, would threaten the deference to state water law that's been a cornerstone of federal policy. So Governor Bullock, congratulations. I'm delighted to see you here as Governor of the state of Montana. And I just want to check in and ask if you continue to hold your view that Congress shouldn't be telling states how to prioritize water allocation.
I do continue to hold to that view.
And for the rest of the panel, if you could simply give me a yes or no, do you agree that decisions on water allocation, on how to best enforce and respect state water rights and state water law are best left to the states?
I do, and it also has to do with the water compacts. We have interstate to interstate, and so we have agreements between each other as far as how we address water.
I do as well, and it's one of the reasons the waters of the U.S. is such a bad idea.
Yeah, I also agree. We're having all kinds of difficulty in South Dakota with the Army Corps of Engineers and their management of water on the Missouri, and the amount that they claim is impounded and entirely surplus water that the state has no right to manage, and completely ignoring the natural flows and the fact that the allocations that states, municipalities and private utilizers have taken are well below the natural flows, and so the claim that any further allocation from the river should be only under their consent and contract just sticks in my throat.
Did you have something to add, Governor?
Could I add only that also, and I mean, in the state of Montana's example, we've resolved so many of those water allocation issues with compacts. And the compacting really has set that in many respects. So many respects, it's almost taken care of for our state.
Appreciate that. I just, if I can, with a quick yes or no, do you think there's more Congress can be doing, though, to help states fund water infrastructure and assist with revolving loans and things like that?
Absolutely.
Thank you.